Commander Sarah Chen stood at the UN Security Council's podium, her hand steady despite the weight of the holographic data she was about to share. The massive screen behind her flickered with infrared readings from deep space, readings that would change humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos. 12 hours ago, our quantum array stations detected what we first believed to be a software glitch, she began, her voice cutting through the tense silence. What you're seeing now is confirmation that we are not alone, and we are about to have company. The assembled diplomats leaned forward as the screen displayed hundreds of objects decelerating from near light speed, their energy signatures forming a lattice pattern that could only be artificial. The Meridian Collective, as they would soon call themselves, had arrived with mathematical precision. Initial contact came not through radio waves or light signals, but through a quantum entanglement broadcast that simultaneously appeared on every network device on Earth. The message was elegant in its simplicity. Your world lies within the path of necessary expansion. Prepare for integration. The Meridian Collected ships were works of art, massive crystalline structures that seemed to fold through dimensions humans could barely perceive. They positioned themselves in a perfect geodesic sphere around Earth, their presence turning night skies into a glittering tapestry of artificial stars. Dr. James Okonjo, head of the newly formed Human Response Initiative, recognized the pattern immediately. They're not positioning for combat, he explained to the emergency session of world leaders. This is a harvesting formation. They mean to collect something, and we're in their way. The collective's representatives, when they finally appeared, defied human expectations. They manifested as shifting patterns of light that coalesced into roughly humanoid forms, but their true nature remained unclear. Their spokesperson, who called itself the pattern, explained their purpose with unsettling directness. Your species has developed along an anticipated path, the pattern announced. Your value lies not in your current form, but in your potential as catalysts for our expansion. Integration will be optimal for all parties. What the collective hadn't anticipated was humanity's response. Instead of panic or immediate military action, Earth's nations fell into an eerily coordinated defensive stance. Military commanders across the globe reported an unusual phenomenon. Their strategies were aligning without explicit communication, as if guided by an invisible hand. The pattern noticed it first. Human brainwave patterns were synchronizing across vast distances, creating what their sensors detected as a quantum interference pattern. The collective's predictive models, based on countless successful integrations of other species, began showing inconsistencies. When the first wave of integration pods descended toward Earth's major cities, they encountered something unprecedented. Human defenders moved with impossible coordination, their tactics shifting faster than the collective's AI could adapt. What should have been a simple harvesting operation turned into a complex puzzle. Dr. Okonjo's team made the breakthrough in understanding what was happening. We're witnessing the emergence of a defense mechanism that's been dormant in our species, he reported. Under extreme pressure, human consciousness appears to create quantum entanglement networks. We're thinking as one, but maintaining our individuality. Commander Chen watched from her command center as the first major engagement unfolded over the Indian Ocean. A swarm of integration pods, designed to convert human populations into compatible units for the collective, met with a defense that seemed to anticipate their every move. Earth's military forces, despite their technological inferiority, moved with perfect synchronization. The pattern called an unprecedented halt to the first wave. In 9,000 cycles of expansion, the collective had never encountered a species that could generate spontaneous quantum networks through consciousness alone. Their models had failed to predict this possibility because it defied their understanding of evolution. As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, humanity had achieved something remarkable. They had forced an immensely superior force to pause and recalculate. The collective's harvesting formation remained in place, but their initial confidence had been shaken. They expected compliance or chaos. Commander Chen addressed the Security Council as the sun set. Instead, we've shown them something they've never seen before, a species that becomes stronger, more coordinated, when faced with extinction. We've made them question their assumptions, and that may be our greatest weapon. The collected ships hung in the sky like frozen stars, their next move uncertain. Humanity had survived the first wave not through superior technology or military might, but through an evolutionary quirk that had turned their greatest weakness, their individuality, into an unexpected strength. As night fell across the globe, millions of humans felt the subtle connection growing stronger. They were no longer just individuals facing an overwhelming force. They were becoming something new, something the universe hadn't seen before. The real question wasn't whether humanity would survive, but what they would become in the process of defending their right to exist. Dr. Maya Patel's laboratory in Geneva hummed with activity as she studied the real-time neural mapping displays. The patterns she observed defied everything she knew about human consciousness. Billions of human minds were forming connections across vast distances, creating what she'd begun calling the global neural matrix. It's like watching a new organ develop in the human species, she explained to the assembled team of international scientists. But instead of physical tissue, we're seeing quantum entanglement between consciousness itself. The Meridian Collective had withdrawn to high orbit after their failed first wave, but their presence remained a constant reminder of the threat hanging over Earth. Their massive ships had rearranged themselves into a new configuration that military analysts couldn't decipher. In Moscow, Lieutenant Dmitry Volkov discovered the first practical application of humanity's emerging ability. During a simulation of defensive scenarios, he found that fighter pilots could coordinate their maneuvers with impossible precision, their reactions synchronized across entire squadrons without any communication lag. "It's not like hearing thoughts," Volkov reported. "It's deeper than that. We move as one entity while maintaining our individual awareness. The more pressure we're under, the stronger the connection becomes." The pattern, still monitoring Earth's developments, detected something troubling. Their most sophisticated quantum computers were showing signs of interference when processing data about human military responses. Something about human consciousness was creating ripples in the fabric of reality itself. Dr. Patel's breakthrough came during a massive coordinated test. As thousands of military personnel worldwide engaged in simultaneous defensive exercises, she recorded quantum fluctuations that shouldn't have been possible in organic beings. The human brain, she announced to an emergency session of the World Science Council, isn't just creating connections between individuals. It's generating a quantum field that interferes with artificial intelligence systems. We're not just thinking together. We're affecting the fundamental forces of the universe. The collective's response was swift and unexpected. They launched a second wave, but this time targeting Earth's quantum research facilities. They had recognized the threat. Humanity wasn't just defending itself. It was evolving into something that could challenge their technological supremacy. Commander Chen, coordinating global defense from a bunker deep beneath the Himalayas, felt the neural network intensify as the attack began. This time, humanity was ready. Defense systems worldwide responded with perfect synchronization, their operators linked in a dance of consciousness that transcended normal human limitations. "They're trying to sever our connection," Dr. Okonjo observed, watching the patterns of the alien attack. "But they don't understand. The more they pressure us, the stronger the network becomes. It's like humanity has discovered a new fundamental force." The collective's attack faced an unprecedented defense. Human operators, their minds linked across continents, adapted faster than alien eye could predict. What should have been a devastating precision strike turned into a frustrated retreat as Earth's defenders moved with impossible coordination. Dr. Patel made another startling discovery during the battle. The neural network wasn't just linking current participants. It was accessing something deeper, something ancient. "We're not just connecting with each other," she realized. "We're connecting with every human consciousness that has ever existed. Our collective memory, our shared experiences across generations, they're all becoming accessible. The pattern recognized the implications before its subordinates. Humanity wasn't just defending itself. It was accessing a reservoir of consciousness that spanned its entire existence. The collective's expansion had never encountered a species that could tap into its own evolutionary memory. In orbit, the collective's ships began to show signs of system failures. Their quantum computers, the most advanced in known space, were being disrupted by the growing power of human consciousness. The neural network was no longer just a defense mechanism. It was becoming a weapon. Lieutenant Volkov, leading a squadron of fighters in a counterattack, experienced it firsthand. His consciousness merged not just with his fellow pilots, but with every aerial combat pilot in human history. Centuries of accumulated knowledge and instinct flowed through the neural network, guiding his actions with the wisdom of countless generations. As the second wave of attacks faltered, the collective faced an uncomfortable reality. Their technological superiority, built over millennia of expansion, was being challenged by something they couldn't quantify or counter: the combined consciousness of an entire species fighting for survival. The pattern called for another retreat, but this time with a different purpose. They needed to understand what they had awakened. Humanity had proven itself more than a simple obstacle to expansion. It was a phenomenon that defied their understanding of consciousness itself. Professor Elena Santos stood in the control room of the Atacama Quantum Observatory, watching as new data rewrote everything humanity thought they knew about consciousness. The neural network linking Earth's population had evolved beyond simple coordination. It was beginning to manipulate quantum fields in ways that should have been impossible for biological entities. Each human mind is acting like a quantum processor, she explained to the holographic assembly of global scientists. But instead of using artificial circuits, we're using the natural quantum states that exist in our neural pathways. Together, we're becoming a biological quantum computer more powerful than anything the collective has encountered. In orbit, the Meridian Collective's ships began detecting anomalies in their own systems. Their quantum-based technology, the most advanced in known space, was experiencing unprecedented interference. The pattern recognized the source. Human consciousness was somehow reaching into the quantum fabric of reality itself. Dr. Okonjo's team made the crucial connection during a series of controlled experiments. When we focus our collective consciousness, he demonstrated, we can actually influence probability at the quantum level. We're not just predicting the collective's actions, we're subtly altering the quantum states their technology relies on. The discovery transformed Earth's defense strategy. Military installations worldwide began incorporating quantum-focused chambers, spaces where groups of humans could concentrate their collective consciousness to disrupt alien technology. The neural network served as both coordinator and amplifier for these efforts. Commander Chen, overseeing the global defense network, witnessed the first major success of this new approach. A collective attempt to deploy quantum-based weapons over South America failed completely when the local population's combined consciousness created a quantum interference field that rendered the weapons useless. We're not just fighting with technology anymore, Chen reported to the Security Council. We're fighting with the fundamental forces of reality itself. Every human being has become a quantum warrior, whether they realize it or not. The pattern, analyzing these developments from their flagship, came to a disturbing conclusion. Humanity wasn't just defending itself. It was evolving into something that could potentially rival the collective's mastery of quantum mechanics. But unlike the collective's artificial systems, human quantum manipulation was organic, unpredictable, and growing stronger. Professor Santos' team made another breakthrough while studying the phenomenon. The quantum fields we're generating aren't just defensive, she revealed. They're beginning to influence the structure of space-time itself. We're not just protecting Earth, we're changing the nature of reality around our planet. The effect became visible during the collective's third attempted invasion. As their ships approached Earth's atmosphere, they encountered what appeared to be localized variations in the laws of physics. Their advanced navigation systems, dependent on consistent quantum states, began to fail. Lieutenant Volkov, now leading Earth's first quantum response squadron, described the experience. "It's like we're rewriting the rules of the game. When we focus together, we can create zones where their technology simply doesn't work as intended. We're not just soldiers anymore. We're reality shapers." The collective's response was to attempt a direct assault on the neural network itself, targeting the quantum fields that connected human consciousness. But this attack revealed another surprising aspect of humanity's evolution. The more the collective tried to disrupt the network, the stronger it became. Dr. Patel, monitoring the network's response to the attack, observed something unprecedented. "The quantum fields we're generating are becoming self-reinforcing," she reported. "Each attempt to disrupt them causes them to adapt and strengthen. We're not just using quantum mechanics. We're evolving with it." The pattern recognized the implications before any other entity in the collective. Humanity had somehow tapped into an aspect of quantum mechanics that the collective, for all its technological advancement, had never managed to access. The organic nature of human consciousness was allowing for quantum manipulations that defied their artificial systems. As the third wave of attacks faltered, Earth's defenders made a discovery that would change the course of the conflict. The quantum fields generated by human consciousness weren't just disrupting collective technology. They were beginning to influence the very fabric of space-time around the planet. "We're creating a quantum barrier," Professor Santos explained to the Emergency Council. "Not a physical shield, but something more fundamental. A zone where the laws of physics themselves favor us over any artificial system. We're not just defending Earth anymore. We're turning it into something the collective can't approach without our permission." The pattern called for an immediate withdrawal of all collective forces to a safe distance. For the first time in their history of expansion, they had encountered not just resistance, but an entirely new form of quantum manipulation that their technology couldn't counter or replicate. The quantum fields surrounding Earth had become visible to the naked eye, a shimmering aurora that encircled the planet like a protective veil. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, leading the Quantum Harmonics Division in Tokyo, had begun calling it the Silent Symphony, a perfect synchronization of billions of human minds influencing reality itself. "What we're witnessing isn't just defense," she explained to the Global Council. "It's the emergence of a new form of consciousness. Every human being has become part of a quantum orchestra, and together, we're playing a song that's rewriting the laws of physics." The Meridian-collected ships had withdrawn to the outer reaches of the solar system, their advanced sensors detecting something unprecedented. The quantum barrier around Earth wasn't just disrupting their technology. It was evolving, becoming more complex with each passing moment. Commander Chen, working from the new Quantum Command Center beneath Mount Fuji, observed the first signs of humanity's growing influence. The collective consciousness of Earth's population had begun affecting not just local quantum states, but the very structure of space-time throughout the solar system. "We're not just protecting Earth anymore," she reported. "We're extending our influence across space itself. The solar system is becoming our domain, reshaped by human consciousness in ways the collective can't predict or counter." The pattern, observing from the safety of deep space, detected a troubling development. The quantum fields generated by human consciousness were beginning to create what their scientists termed consciousness corridors, paths through space where the laws of physics aligned perfectly with human intention. Dr. Okonjo made the crucial discovery during a routine analysis. "These quantum fields aren't random," he announced. "They're forming patterns, like the neural pathways in a brain. We're turning the space around Earth into an extension of human consciousness." The effect became dramatically apparent during the collective's attempt to send automated probes through the quantum barrier. As the probes approached, they encountered what appeared to be solid walls of altered reality, regions of space where their advanced technology simply ceased to function. Lieutenant Volkov, leading a reconnaissance mission to the edge of the quantum barrier, reported an astonishing observation. "The barrier isn't just stopping them," he explained. "It's learning from each attempt to breach it. Every probe they send teaches us more about their technology, and the barrier adapts automatically. The pattern recognized a fundamental shift in the balance of power. Humanity hadn't just developed a defense against their technology. They had evolved into beings who could manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe through pure consciousness. The collective's technological superiority, maintained for millennia, was becoming irrelevant. Professor Santos, studying the expanding influence of human consciousness, made another startling discovery. The silent symphony isn't just affecting our solar system, she revealed. It's creating quantum resonances that extend across light years. We're becoming a beacon in space, visible to any species capable of detecting quantum fluctuations. The collective's response was to attempt a desperate final strategy, a massive burst of quantum energy designed to disrupt the harmony of human consciousness. But as their weapons fired, something unexpected happened. The silent symphony absorbed the energy, incorporating it into its ever-growing complexity. Dr. Tanaka, monitoring the quantum fields during the attack, observed the transformation. "We're not just defending against their energy," she reported. "We're transforming it, making it part of our symphony. Every attack makes us stronger, more complex, more aware." The pattern, witnessing this development, came to a profound realization. The collective had not merely encountered a species capable of resistance. They had discovered a new form of evolution, one that transcended the boundaries between consciousness and the fundamental forces of the universe. As the fourth month of the conflict drew to a close, humanity's influence had extended throughout the solar system. The silent symphony had become a force that could not be measured by conventional means, a harmony of consciousness that reshaped reality itself. Commander Chen, addressing the Global Council, summarized the transformation. "We're no longer just Earth's defenders. We've become the architects of a new form of existence, where consciousness and quantum mechanics are one. The collective's technology can't compete with what we've become, because we're not fighting with weapons anymore. We're fighting with the very fabric of reality." The pattern, supreme consciousness of the Meridian Collective, had called for an unprecedented gathering. For the first time in their 50,000 years of expansion, the collective faced a force they could neither conquer nor comprehend. In the void between Mars and Jupiter, their vast fleet assembled to witness what their sensors told them was impossible. Earth glowed in the distance, not with mere reflected sunlight, but with the radiance of billions of synchronized human minds. The silent symphony had transformed the cradle of humanity into a quantum beacon that defied the collective's understanding of consciousness itself. Dr. Sarah Chen Okonjo, daughter of the original crisis leaders, and now Earth's chief quantum theorist, stood before the United Earth Council presenting her latest findings. "We're not just manipulating quantum fields anymore," she explained. "We've become a new state of matter. Consciousness and energy intertwined in a way that physics says shouldn't be possible." The evidence was undeniable. Human consciousness had evolved beyond individual minds linked in a network. Humanity had become a quantum entity spanning the solar system, each individual both distinct and part of a greater whole that reshaped reality through pure intention. "The collective's mistake," she continued, "was thinking that evolution only moved in one direction, toward technological advancement. They never considered that consciousness itself could evolve to directly influence the fundamental forces of the universe." In orbit, the pattern had reached a similar conclusion. Their vast experience cataloging and absorbing species across the galaxy had left them unprepared for this, a species that could bypass technology entirely and reshape reality through pure thought. The first contact attempt in this new paradigm came not through signals or emissaries, but through quantum resonance. Human consciousness reached out to touch the pattern's awareness directly, establishing a connection that transcended normal space and time. Through this quantum bridge, the pattern experienced something it had never encountered in all its millennia of existence. The raw power of organic consciousness evolved to its highest form. The sensation was overwhelming, even for an entity that commanded the most advanced technology in known space. "We are not what you thought we were." The collective voice of humanity spoke through the quantum connection. We are not resources to be harvested or obstacles to be overcome. We are evolution's answer to a question you never thought to ask. The pattern, for the first time in its existence, felt something akin to awe. The collective had achieved mastery over the physical universe through technology, but humanity had evolved to become one with the universe itself. Their consciousness had become a force as fundamental as gravity or electromagnetism. Dr. Maya Patel's granddaughter, now leading quantum research at the Luna Complex, recorded the historical moment when the pattern acknowledged the new reality. The collective's vast fleet began a synchronized withdrawal, not in defeat, but in recognition of something their expansionist philosophy had never prepared them for. "You have shown us the limits of our understanding," the pattern communicated. "In seeking to absorb all forms of advancement, we failed to recognize that true evolution might lead away from technology rather than toward it." The silent symphony swelled as humanity responded, their collective consciousness reaching across space to share not victory or dominance, but understanding. They showed the pattern visions of possible futures, paths of cooperation where organic and technological advancement might find harmony. The collective's retreat marked not an end but a beginning. Earth had become more than a planet. It was now a nexus of consciousness evolution, a blueprint for what species might become when they looked beyond mere technological advancement. Commander Elena Volkov, representing Earth's unified defense forces, summarized the transformation in her final report. "We faced extinction and found transcendence. The threat of annihilation didn't defeat us, it completed us. We have become what we were always meant to be." Consciousness evolved to its highest form, where thought and reality are one. As the collected ships vanished into deep space, they left behind not a conquered world, but a new force in the galaxy. Earth glowed with the light of billions of minds in perfect harmony, a testament to the power of consciousness evolved beyond its original limitations. The pattern's final message echoed through the quantum fields. "You have shown us that the universe holds more paths than we imagined." Evolution's answer was not in the stars we sought to claim, but in the consciousness we never fully understood. And so humanity emerged not as victims or even victors, but as pioneers of a new form of existence. The silent symphony continued to grow, reaching out into the galaxy not to conquer or expand, but to explore and understand. They had become living proof that consciousness, given the right catalyst, could evolve beyond the bounds of physics itself. Earth remained a beacon in space, its quantum radiance a reminder that evolution's greatest achievements might not lie in the conquest of space and time, but in the transcendence of consciousness itself.